Jai Ho Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Stotara Sada Sri Sri Madhavai Charanarvinda His Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Skan Bividi Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram chaivam narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatorjayat Madhiraye Nasta Prayestu Avadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuke Yam Syanubhavam Akhilam Sutisaramekam Adhyatmadepam Atithir Satam Tamandam Samsarina Karunaya Purana Guyam Tam Vyasasonam Payami Guru Muninam. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, The Creation of Fourth Order, Chapter 25, The Characteristics of King Puranjana, text number 7. Narada Muni is speaking. Narada Uvacha Bhovo Prajapate Rajan Pasun Pasya Toya Dhare Sangya Pitan Jiva Sanghan Nigrinena Sahasrasah Bhovo Prajapate Rajan Pasun Pasya Toya Dhare Sangya Pitan Jiva Sanghan Nigrinena Sahasrasah Bhovo Prajapate Rajan Pasun Pasya Toya Dhare Sangya Pitan Jiva Sanghan Nigrinena Sahasrasah
Bhovo Prajapate Raja
Bhovo Prajapate Rajan
Pasun Pasya Tvaya Dvare
Pasun Pasya Toya Dhare
Sangya Pitan Jiva Sangyan
Sangya Pitan Jiva Sanghan
Nena Sahasrashaha
Nigrinena Sahasrasah
Bhovo Prajapate Rajan
Bhovo Prajapate Rajan
Pasun Pasya Tvaya Dhare
Pasun Pasya Tvaya Dvare
Sangya Pitan Jiva Sanghan
Sangya Pitan Jiva Sanghan Nigrinena Sahasrasah
Narada Uvacha
Narada Uvacha
Bhovo Prajapate Rajan
Bhovo Prajapate Rajan
Pasun Pasya Tvaya Dhare
Pasun Pasya Tvaya Dhare
Sangha Pitan Jiva Sanghan
Sangya Pitan Jiva Sanghan
Nirvinena Saharasa
Nigrinena Sahasrasah Narada. The great sage Narada replied, Vo, vo, hello, Prajapati, O ruler of the citizens, Rajan, O king, Pasun, animals, Pasya, please see, Toya, by you, Adhware, in the sacrifice, Sangya, Pitan, Sangya Pitan, killed, Jiva Sanghan, groups of animals, Nigrinena, without pity, Sahasrasaha, in thousands. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The great Saint Narada said, O ruler of the citizens, my dear king, please see in the sky those animals which you have sacrificed without compassion and without mercy in the sacrificial arena. Please repeat. Saint Narada said, O ruler of the citizens, my dear king, please see in the sky those animals which you have sacrificed without compassion and without mercy in the sacrificial arena. Purport. Because animal sacrifice is recommended in the Vedas, there are animal sacrifices in almost all religious rituals. However, one should not be satisfied simply by killing animals according to the directions of the scriptures. One should transcend the ritualistic ceremonies and try to understand the actual truth, the purpose of life. Narada Muni wanted to instruct the king about the real purpose of life and invoke a spirit of renunciation in his heart. Knowledge and the spirit of renunciation, Jnana Vairagya, are the ultimate goal of life. Without knowledge, one cannot become detached from the material enjoyment. And without being detached from material enjoyment, one cannot make spiritual advancement. Karmis are generally engaged in sense gratification. And for this end, they are prepared to commit so many sinful activities. Animal sacrifice is but one such sinful activity. Consequently, by his mystic power, Narada Muni showed King Prachina Parishad the dead animals which he had sacrificed. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Manodistham Sthapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayan Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalan Sri Guru Vaisnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathan Pitan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastuti Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpataru Vaksha Kripa Sindhu Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desakara Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Very interesting and important topic is going on. Srimad Bhagavatam, the prime duty of a saintly person is to highlight the importance of goal of life and educate people, followers in general towards achieving Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prema. That is the ultimate goal. But we cannot expect all the living being in this material world will take that ultimate path right away. It has to be realized through life after life after life, living fruitful, fruitive life, and ultimately, finally, yes, I am the tiny particle, eternal servant of the Supreme Lord at his lotus feet. Bahunam janmanam ante gyanavanamam prapadyanti. Vasudevam sarvam iti samahatma sudurlava. So this stage does not come right away. So that is why Krishna explained the importance of existence of soul in Bhagavad Gita, first 6 chapters. Exclusively he explained about the importance of soul, why we are not body, we are spirit soul. He stressed throughout all the chapter 2 and all the way to 6, Krishna specifically stressed that one has to understand that I am not this body. This is important to, this is easy to understand that I am not this body. In a way, we are observing this knowledge in our daily life. We have seen people are born, we have seen people are dying, we have seen people are getting old, we have seen people are suffering from diseases. All these are in our observation, in our daily observation. One does not have to really understand about that body is dying, because we see it through our eyes. We are observing in our life. But to believe that I am soul is very difficult. No one has seen the soul. No one has seen the soul coming back. And people are not really experiencing the existence of soul. So this knowledge is really difficult to understand. That was the prime reason that Krishna is again and again is explaining different characteristics of the soul in the Gita, Bhagavad Gita, so that we understand it. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. This very true is simple statement from Bhagavad Gita, but is very deep and difficult to understand. Na bhavo vidyate asata. Sat means eternal, asat means temporary. So Krishna is comparing soul and body in this sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Na bhavo vidyate sata. This body will never last forever. Na bhavo vidyate asata. And the soul will never this body never exists forever, and soul will never die by any means. So Krishna is trying to let Arjuna know that the soul is an eternal and the death is an illusion. He is trying to explain this material body is already dead matter. What is the question of death then? If soul never dies, and if the body never exists forever, so what is the existence of death? When he is talking with Uddhava in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto later on, that the concept of death is a big illusion in this material world. Actually, there is no death as such, because body is already dead and soul is an eternal. So when the devotee understand this Tattvadarshi Drishtwant Tattvadarshi, those who have seen the truth about the real existence of the soul, they have concluded that body is temporary, spirit soul is eternal. So one is not bewildered by this change of the body. It has to be seen through existential philosophy, or it has to be seen through the eyes of the scriptures, or it has to be seen through your personal experience in this body in order to understand the existence of soul. And we know from Bhagavad Gita that soul pervades all body as a consciousness. If you see, the soul is Shakti, energy, the consciousness is as soon as the soul comes out, this remain as it is. It doesn't change anything. It was like how it was before. The absence of soul makes this body, which was already dead, become dead. Krishna also said the same thing in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. These all people, all kings, all warriors are already put into death by my energy. You are not the one to kill them. Don't think that you are the killer. You are the slayer. No, you are not. So this science, the existence of soul, to believe and to understand, to realize is we cannot observe like we see people are dying. So we need to see through the eyes of the scripture, Shastra Chakshu. Or we have to hear the conclusion of the great Aryas who have deeply meditated on these matters and the conclusion that the spirit soul does not have nothing to do with the physical body. It's just some entanglement. Because of our fruitive desire, just like Prachinavari, the king, is trying to do a lot of animal sacrifices in order to better material life. So the real enjoyment, Narada Muni or devotees or Vaishnava, they know that real enjoyment does not come from the result of your ritualistic activities, because that happiness or that pious deed or any happiness that is coming out of our ritualistic activities, fruitive activities, is also temporary. It is not freeing you forever from this material conditioning stage. It might take you to a better place in heavenly planets to enjoy for some time. Then the process of birth, death, old age, disease still continues even in heavenly planets. So it is not worth of enjoying such temporary happiness. Natesu ramate Buddha. If you are Buddha, if you are intelligent, if you are Krishna conscious, if you hear from authorized source, then you do not become happy from the pleasure that comes from the friction of senses. This is the conclusion of those great seers of the truth. So, in one way, materials, and one can understand or realize or think about Krishna is only when there are only two options that one can think of God. One, by going through the difficulties, miseries of life, existential problems, struggle in life, a lot of problems, struggling, trying to do so much, and always failure comes in hand. And other way we can realize God by the mercy of the devotees. So that was the reason Krishna created suffering in this material world. People think if God is kind and great and so merciful, why did he create? See, he wants to give us some contrast and comparison. We always compare things. Should I go with this mobile or that mobile? Should I go Apple or Samsung? Should I go Toyota or Tesla or Mercedes or Lamborghini or comparison, lot of comparison. Should I stay brahmachari or maybe should I marry, live a peaceful, happy grihastha married life, or remain brahmachari and then take sannyas and preach the message of Krishna consciousness all over the world, like Swayam Bhagavan Kesav Goswami Maharaj. A lot of comparison. Krishna gives this to us, this opportunity, so that we can see the value of the spiritual life. When I was living as a brahmachari in the temple, when nice married couple would come to the temple, I would, in my mind, would imagine, my life in temple is already very boring every day, same thing, but if I could, with a wife and perform spiritual life even better. This thought comes in our mind, then Krishna let us compare the thing and go and experience. If you scriptures or me or your guru, then go and live a practical life and understand and realize. So miseries are always very good mercy of God if we see that way. Sufferings always brings us close to God. Why? Why? And then we start realizing that maybe there is some fate, some karma, some previous result of my activities. Then we can come to the Krishna. Then our bhakti process begins. Or if we would want to go through that process of sufferings and enjoyment in this material world, then there are sadhus, they are always preaching the message of God. Hey, this is the reality. You need to turn back and come to Krishna and study the scriptures and practice a devotional life. You need to chant Hare Krishna. You need to wake up early in the morning, take bath and sit down and meditate. You are a spirit soul. So this knowledge is right there. And if one is really merciful or fortunate, they receive the mercy of great saint like Narada Muni. Actually, we are all are getting the same mercy from Narada Muni as well. Even though Narada Muni and we do not have personal relationship or physical contact right here, but his teachings are here, and we are every day realizing this fact. Sufferings are always good. It's not necessarily always bad. They can give us this great opportunity to understand the importance of Krishna Bhakti. But if you see that people who are living a very, very aristocratic life in this material world, very, very good, fortunate life, and those who have a lot of education, high education, that always make them very pride and puffed up. If you see Ambani, for example, Ambani in India is a, but if you see his education, he has no education. Not a lot. And he's employing all the educated people, top educated people, big, top class engineers and other things, and make them work for him. So this high education can be beneficial, can be utilized, but there is a high chance that it can make people think, I am great. I am the biggest person. I am the educated person. Why should I bow down to Krishna? So this prideness is there in the educated people. But humble people, just Janma Aishwarya Suta Srivi. These are the not boon, these are sometimes a big trap for a pure devotees. Kunti Maharani was praying in the Bhagavatam. One who has the pride of that being born in a high class family, being born in an aristocratic family with a beautiful body, with a lot of good fortunes, can be a big problem in the state of devotional life, in the path of devotional life. So this way, the whatever suffering we are going through, this can be always helpful to realize Krishna in our life, and we can utilize that in understanding Krishna consciousness. That is the one thing. And devotees association is always great. One can escape going through this experiential, pragmatic, practical life and go through different roller coaster of life, experiencing heat and cold in this material body, cheating, deceiving, conceit, so many other things in experience. And then finally, I realize, yes, Krishna is ultimate truth and I am spirit soul. Let me surrender again in full dedication. That experience, that realization may come later, but we can escape that, according to here, Bhagavad Gita. And we already understand that this death is the biggest illusion, because there is no real death, because material body is already dead and spirit soul is already eternal. So there is no question of death. And devotees will come to this platform to realize and take up Krishna consciousness seriously. This is the real thing here. And we know, we study the philosophy, but the ultimate thing that when we practice Krishna consciousness, Krishna bhakti, we study philosophy, we study the books, scriptures, and that helps us to develop akarsan. What is the meaning of akarsan in English? Huh? Meaning of akarsan in English? Attraction. Attraction. So, Maya, the illusory energy, make us think that you die. You need to enjoy everything in this life. Your body is temporary. You need to do something. And living being, we believe that and that we act in that way. This is called illusion. That is the job of Maya, that to make you think that you die one day. The biggest job of illusion. So we are attracted to this body. The biggest attraction in this world is what? With body. And what is the biggest fear in this world? Death. Now we know that there is no death. See the illusory energy, how it works. That is called Maya. So when we are attracted to Maya, illusory energy of the Lord, it is a very magical thing. We do not know how Maya attracts us. Nobody can explain things, how Maya can attract. But we are attracted to that energy. And if we are attracted, if we divert that attraction to Krishna, like iron cuts iron, attraction to Maya should be cut by the attraction to Krishna. So when we get attracted to Krishna, then we come to the knowledge, to light, to understand about the real importance of life. And Krishna also put some magical ingredients in that attraction. Somehow or other, we are attracted to Krishna. This is, you can say it is called white magic. Krishna's Alladini Shakti, internal potency somehow attract us towards Krishna. That will stop our biggest illusion of death and changing the bodies in this material world. So the main thing is attraction, where we are attracted to. Krishna says, come to me. Get attracted to me. That's why we take his primary name Krishna, meaning all attractive. Krishna. All the Gyanis, philosophers, those who study the scriptures, Vedantists, those who call themselves as Vedantists, they study philosophy and they are attracted to philosophy, not to Krishna. They are trapped in the beauty of the philosophy and they remain there and they just become happy. Wow, I am great. I can quote all the scriptures. I can relate the message of all the Vedas. I can explain people. They just become happy in study the philosophy and they lose the goal of central attraction, who is Krishna. They miss that. That is why Krishna says, Aruya Krishna Patanti Adha. They, even if yogi or jnani, they reach very topmost position, higher position, but ultimately because of their not having attraction to personality of Godhead, and they are simply attracted to the knowledge, the depth of the philosophy, they fall down. But on the other hand, devotees, they understand the philosophy. They study the philosophy. They know the knowledge and they utilize this knowledge to get attraction to Krishna, personality of Godhead. They do not misuse that knowledge and they do not fall trapped into that beauty, the flowery beauty of the Vedanta. And they use that knowledge to get attracted to Krishna. If you see in Brajavasis, for example, Brajavasis, they apparently, they all look very illiterate. All the Brajavasis, they are like village people, deprived from education, not going to college, not going to school, high school, like Jamuna does. Says high school crystal. But they had the highest attraction for Krishna. They do not know that Krishna is God or not, but they love him so much. They don't care. If somebody say Krishna is Vishnu himself, your son is God, you are crazy, are you fool? Try to befool me here. My son, how can he become a God? That devotes, that prem, that love that Brajavasis has, no one has. That is why they are called highest devotees. Because of the highest attraction to Krishna. So we are studying this knowledge to realize that how beautiful Krishna is. That is why the whole Bhagavatam is compared to a complete body of Krishna. When we study from first canto all the way to the last cantos, then we see the beautiful body of Krishna, the smiling face, including smiling face, and we are attracted to that. Have you had that experience that you come and see the darshan of the Lord? At some time, Krishna is smiling at you. Even though Krishna is an idol, just to say, idol is a murti, just standing there. It's a cold marble thing. But he reciprocates with you, he smiles at you. I have that experience. I never know Chaitanya Gauranga Mahaprabhu before. Nobody knows in Nepal. And I always hear, Gauranga, Gauranga. It would be very funny sound to me. I could not relate that this is the name of God. Not at all. So very difficult for me to see Gaur Nityananda. Who are they? They are not Krishna, they are not Ram, they are not Vishnu, they are not Narayan, they are not nothing. So how can I think they are God? That had big doubt in my mind. I had a doubt. And one day, same size like it was a preaching center called Bagh Bazaar. Just like in Calcutta, there is another Bagh Bazaar. And I was standing before Gaurnitananda, and then I see or feel like Gaurnitananda was smiling. Oh, very nice. And I started loving God. This experience come from Krishna for all of us. And we get attracted to that form. And we are, for devotees, it's very easy to cross over this material ocean. It's a big ocean. It's just like after taking shelter of Krishna, and Krishna is revealing his mercy to you, his kindness to you, and he attracts you towards him. Then to cross over this material world is very easy, just like a small cow's hoof print. The whole ocean becomes small and tiny, and you can cross over. So this is all we are doing by practicing Krishna consciousness. We are trying to be attracted to Krishna. We are trying to get attraction and lose attraction from this material world. As long as we are attracted to this material world, then realization Krishna consciousness is impossible. We need to at least somehow or other realize that I am not this body. Even demon like Hiranyakasipu understood that I want to be immortal, but this body is not going to give me immortality. So let me do tapasya, severe tapasya. So how many years he did tapasya? His body was like decaying and only skeleton was there, and all this ant and making home in his body. He was like, you can imagine, if a demon can realize and understand that he is not a body and he cannot experience immortality in this body, so he was doing great tapasya. So devotees of Krishna should realize this fact. And Krishna is teaching all throughout the Bhagavad Gita the same message, knowledge. And if we, with that mood and with that feeling, with that bhava, we perform bhakti yoga, and it become very, result will be very clear and pronounced and very fast. So this is what Narada Muni is going to teach King Prachina Bharisat. He is entangled in this material world. And he is an example. We all are in the same condition. Our Krishna Bhakti is very conditional now, like hiding in this material world. If, for example, if I go to work, I clean my teeth, I change my dress, and I go as I am a normal devotee, because I do not have that fearlessness, that boldly exposing myself that I am a devotee of Krishna. This is the conditioning bhakti. But when we give priority, we get attracted to Krishna just like we are attracted to our body. Then we can claim that I am a devotee. Just like when we travel to a non-cooperating countries like Russia or any Islamic countries, then devotees disguise. That is okay. But in normal life also, we disguise ourselves because we do not have that love and attraction for Krishna. And we are finding some time in coming to the temple and trying to become devotee and practice Krishna consciousness, and we think we are devotee. But when we go out, we are conditioned by so many external matters, and we always try to not become, at least in external showing, we try to not become a devotee. Because we think, what will they think? This is our conditional stage of Krishna Bhakti. So I appreciate those who are dedicated their life for the propagation of the holy name of the Lord and dedicating their whole life and taking this process, Krishna consciousness. Because of their prayer and their dedication, we are here and practicing Krishna Bhakti, trying to realize that I'm not this body. But long way to go to understand fully. Any questions? We discuss open some discussion forum here. Any comment? Any questions? Yes, Prabhuji.
Do you know the story where Narada asked Krishna? Krishna asked him to get him a drink of water.
This story taken from Purana, Vishnu Purana, or yeah. He was showing the Maya, and within that short time, Narada Muni went through so many lifetimes. Yeah. You need source I can find for you.
Okay, I just didn't know if you know it well enough to mention it. Just a funny story.
Yeah, it's funny story. Maya is very. Narada Muni has seen and gone through this personal experience of how Maya act and trick and engage living being into this material world. So we will narrate that story next time. It's a long story.
Yeah, he goes through all these different attachments, and then at the end, he doesn't even remember to get Krishna water, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I've had that experience with devotees.
Right.
Trying to do something.
Yes, Prabhu.
I don't know if you're wearing drugs at a shikha at work. So
I do have, but
Not like
I feel like still I'm hiding myself. I am not. It is there. People know me somehow or other. They know me. I am a devotee, but I know I'm not what they think I am.
you're more than
So that is the problem. I'm conditioning. So I'm talking about condition. We are not bold and fearless like Prabhupada. He came in dhoti in America. Never changed. That is what I'm talking.
He was first a gentleman, however.
Yeah. Huh?
So he was always a gentleman.
Right.
He didn't force things into people.
No.
You know, like he didn't even necessarily say Hare Krishna to people. He'd say good morning.
Right.
He didn't beat people over the head. Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Yes.
But on the other hand, if you go out in the world, you need to be ready to talk with people if they come at you and they say, you know, what do you think? Who do you think you are? Or what are you doing? Or why do you look so funny? You have to be ready to engage with them without, I mean, not proselytizing, but to respond to them if they're interested in you. So it's a job. It's a public relations job.
Yes.
To be out there.
That's why we need to stay and talk to them in a nice way. Take the process of Narada Muni. Narada Muni is not talking directly to Puranjana that you are bad, you are engaged, you are doing so many things, but you are a fool. He's not saying that. He was narrating an allegorical story. And then later on, Narada Muni, Prachana Parishad realizes, oh, that person seems like me. I am doing exactly the same. He is explaining. But Narada Muni was exactly talking about himself. When devotees are clever, chatu, they know the trick, how to talk to the people. So this knowledge again comes. But our goal of taking shelter of knowledge is to get attraction to Krishna, not attraction to philosophy and then be lost in this material world, like Gyanis.
When somebody's briefly interested in, or moderately, interested in Krishna, how do you briefly share Krishna with someone? How is your outreach?
If someone is interested, somehow or other, open-minded, or have some desire to hear, we can either invite people for the dinner and cook food and offer to the Lord and share with them and talk about blessed food and slowly introduce the holy name, chanting holy name, and talk about Bhagavad Gita, how Bhagavad Gita talks about ourselves, how it gives us, like we can start from from the scratch, from the beginning. So we should see the situation, how the person is able to, how far the person can hear or accept. So we have to decide and then introduce as much as the person can digest. Best is from food or inviting Kirtan, chanting together, or talking about when we go to people, we should not pose ourselves and themselves. We should always try to discuss the problem they are going through, and I'm also going through the same problem. And then they start thinking, oh yeah, this person is talking the same way I am living my life. Then they can get more attracted to your philosophy. Because you are giving him an option to escape from that conditioning.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Any other comment?
As far as engaging with the public, the best way to be effective in that, to become effective. What do you do?
To engage them?
To be effective in engaging with the public.
Maybe we can invite them to the temple and engage them in some kind of services, physical service. Or give them some literatures to read. Keep contact. If we just keep and ignore and leave and nobody can come, we need to cultivate people somehow. In order to cultivate them, they need to be engaged in some kind of action, activity, service. Krishna consciousness is not understood only by the knowledge, it has to be accompanied by service. So we should find some way so that they can do something for Krishna. And that service they perform, clean them, their heart. And Krishna will slowly act. Hey, it was me you were doing to me.
Try to be a friend first and find out what they like to do. I've heard devotees ask people like right away what they like to do.
Yeah. First, again, establishing relationship is more important than imposing philosophy to uncultivated mind. You say something, Prabhu? You explain or further, you have more idea about it?
I was thinking about how Srila Prabhupada says to first purify yourself, become a devotee, and then you can preach.
That is always the first. You say dress and address. First, just Chris also say earlier, one should be ready with the knowledge. One should educate himself and become a nice devotee, purify ourselves. And we can purify others. Good thing attract good thing. Money attracts money. A pure devotee attracts many people's devotees.
One thing I heard, I was listening to Nanma's podcast and Chaitanya Charan Prabhu on, and it was about outreach. And one thing they were talking about was like that we're all trying to work our way up through the modes. That they're explaining it. It can be like a vertical liftoff, or it can be like a helicopter from any of the modes. But also, I think they're sort of saying it's like helping ourselves and trying to help other people get up through the modes, just get a little better towards that trajectory of bhakti.
Is always yes there, so that that's why there's a variation, different people, different ideas, different thoughts because of the mode. It is difficult to bring everyone in the same track at the same time. That's why we cannot make the whole world devotee at the same time. Few people become devotees, some are still enjoying, some are dreaming, some are doing so many things in this world. All ideas, modes, ignorance, passion, goodness. When you go above everything else, I'm done everything. I cannot do anything on my own. I need help. I need guidance. Then we come to spiritual master. This is stage, yeah, it's a very nice point. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Gaur Premanande.
Prabhu.